Hello, and welcome to Not Just Books, the library's monthly show about what's happening in your world and at the Williamson County Public Library. My name is Dolores Greenwald, and I'm the director. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today we'll be talking about the second annual Janice Keck Literary Award Contest, local art clubs, and teen books, so you do not want to miss a minute. In our What's Hot in Books segment, we'll be talking with Erin Holt, teen librarian, about what popular books teens are reading. If you have a teen who loves to read or the parent of a reluctant teen reader, stay tuned for some assistance. In our Your World segment, we'll be talking with Nicki, Mackanos, and Nell Henderson with the Allied Arts Club. In our Save the Date portion of the program, we will be talking with Margaret Brown and Sharon Reily about our Literary Award Contest. If you're an aspiring writer, don't miss this segment. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be right back with our Save the Date guest. Did you know the library has a Gadget Zoo program? Yes, we do. Are you terrified of technology, baffled by BYOT? Get ready to conquer your technology fears at our Gadget Zoo. We will introduce you to some of the most commonly used devices, or you can bring your own. Check WCPLTN.org or call 615-595-1243 for more details. Welcome back. In our Save the Date segment, we'll be talking about the Janice Keck Literary Award Contest. And I'm very pleased to have with me Sharon Reily from Reference Department here at the main library, and Margaret Brown in our Technical Services Department here at the main library. And you were both very instrumental in the contest, putting it together and organizing it and making sure it went smooth last year. So thank you for that, and y'all have just jumped in and going to do it again this year. So tell us Margaret, tell us a little bit about the contest.
Well, it's we conceived it to honor the memory of Janice Keck, who was our former library director for 32 years, I think. She was a writer herself, very interested in supporting local authors and writing. And when we decided to come up with these literary awards, it seemed appropriate to name them for her.
And tell us about the submission process, Sharon.
People can submit to our Gmail account, which is academy.park.press@gmail.com, and they can also submit their work on a flash drive or a CD, and we're not accepting any hard copies.
Okay. Now, Academy Park Press, we might need to explain why it's called Academy Park Press, and that is because of our imprint.
Yes, the library has its own publishing imprint called Academy Park Press.
And we have different categories of awards that we gave out last year, and we'll be giving them out again this year. So what are the award categories?
Fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and writing for children.
Okay. And how were the books selected this time?
How were the books selected?
Mm-hmm.
We have a panel of judges who have nothing to do with the library. They review all the books, and then we had a score sheet that they fill out, and then we tally all the scores, and they decide the top 3 in each one.
Well, it was a learning process for us because we had not done it before, but it was also a learning process for them as well, and we felt like it went as smooth as it possibly could. What are some of the qualifications to submit? You have to live here in Williamson County.
You have to be over the age of 18. You must live in Williamson County. You can be a published author, but your submission cannot have been published before.
And
you can't be a library employee.
Right. Can't be a library employee, that's true. What will the recipients win, Margaret?
they win fame and glory.
That's true.
And we also help them publish their books through Ingram Spark. We help them set up an Ingram Spark account. We provide them with an ISBN, International Standard Book Number, and barcode. We help them come up with the formatting and the design of the book, although we do require that they submit cover artwork with their submission. We help them just through the whole publishing process, and we provide them with 10 copies of their book, either hardcover or paperback, whichever they would rather have.
The four, well, 3 of the 4 winners were at our library friends luncheon and did a book signing a couple of weeks ago, and sold some copies. Very enthusiastic reception they received. So it's been a very rewarding experience, I think, for them as well as for us too. So if people want more information, what can they do, Sharon?
Well, they can check out our website, and the submission guidelines are all spelled out fairly clearly.
And
that's on the library's website.
Website is
wcpltn.org.
Yes.
And there's a slide on the current slideshow on the website. If you just click on the slide, it will take you to the page with the submission guidelines.
And it's very nicely done, I must say. Margaret remembered because she's the one that did it. But is there anything else that you guys would like to say? What do you think has been the response from the winners last time?
Oh, they were thrilled. They were thrilled.
And
we were thrilled that we had so many submissions last year. We had no idea we would have as many.
We had 47, and we're anticipating more this year, which would be excellent.
Yeah, we were delighted with the response.
You know, one of the things that I enjoyed about it was that I did not know this at the time he won, but one of the winners was a very good friend of Janice Keck's. So helped, they worked together with the pool type players. So I just thought that was excellent.
Nice.
Just had a very special meaning to him, I think. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll be right back. Did you know the library has an amazing writer's critique group? We do. The group meets at the main library on the first and third Saturdays of each month from 10:30 a.m. until noon to provide authors with serious, courteous critiques of their work. Go to wcpltn.org for more details or call 615-595-1250 for details. Welcome back to our Your World segment, and we're going to be speaking with members of the Allied Arts Club today. And the Allied Arts Club has been in existence in Williamson County for many years. And I'd like to welcome Nell Henderson.
Thank you.
And Nicki Mackanos here today. Thank you very much for joining us. And Nicki, tell us a little bit about the founding and organization of the club.
The Allied Arts Club was started on November 5th, 1931 in a private home with 15 members, and they were all extremely enthusiastic art lovers.
Art lovers. And Nell, how long have the two of you been members? And do you have anybody prominent in the history of the club?
Well, I think Nicki's been a member for about 7 or 8 years, and I've fortunately been a member for at least 21 years, I know. My former mother-in-law, Margaret Henderson, was a longtime member, and she used to teach English and was very active in the players, pool tight, and so she's quite well known in the community. Legan Stewart, our former mayor, was the personality who brought me into the club back in the 90s. She grew up with my husband on Lewisburg Avenue, and they've been lifetime friends. And I'm sure a lot of our citizens will remember Mrs. Walter Carlisle, the former editor of the Review Appeal. She was quite well known in the community, and she had already retired by the time I was in the club, but she was such a lovely, gracious lady, and she was quite active in the club after we retired, and she played a big role in the publicity for the Allied Arts in the earlier years with the Review Appeal.
Yeah, that's a good thing to have a newspaper person on
Yes.
in your club. Nicki, how often do you meet and when?
We meet 7 times a year, and we meet on the 4th Monday of every month that we meet. And we use several churches and the library for our program meetings. And we choose all our programs in the summer preceding that year's meeting as a committee.
Nell, what type of programs do you have in the club?
Well, we try to represent a broad spectrum of all the arts, literary, music, dance, and the visual arts. In the literary diversity, we've had programs on poetry, authors, local and Tennessee-based, including historical authors of Franklin. In the musical presentations, we've covered jazz and opera, folk and country, instrumental and band performances, and large vocal groups. And in the fine arts, we have individual artists who present their work and share their philosophy and life story with their art, and or possibly a curator shares a review of some of the major art presentations in Nashville at the Frist and Cheekwood, and sometimes even museums are included in our presentations. So it's quite a diverse
That's excellent.
program.
Nicki, this is the holiday Christmas season, and what are some of your favorite programs that you've done during this time of year?
Our Christmas programs are usually open programs, and they are open to the community. And some that come to mind are a flute concert that was put on by the National Flute Association, and then the Harp School Incorporated is a youth ensemble, and they brought in several harps and had a range of programs. Lately, we have been having Christmas dinners in a member's home and enjoyed the fellowship there.
That's very good. Nell, you're an artist yourself, and you have
Yes.
exhibited at the library. What's been some of your favorite programs?
Well, I'd have to say that actually our last program was outstanding. Margaret Walker, a local Franklin resident and the daughter of Susan, a member, and Odie Walker, happens to be currently the assistant to the director of the Vanderbilt Fine Arts Gallery and an associate of the Stanford Fine Art Gallery. So she presented a program on looking at art, how to stand and feel clever in any museum or gallery. And anyway, Margaret is an honor graduate of Princeton University and studied at the University of Edinburgh with a master's in the history of art. Now, we generally don't have that qualified of speakers, so we felt very privileged to have
That's
such an
excellent.
outstanding local
That's
resident
excellent.
present our program. And the program was perfectly delightful.
Yes.
Everyone commented and felt much more informed on how to get the most out of their visit to a museum after hearing her talk. And she had, of course, a slide presentation along with her program.
Tell us briefly, Nicki, about some of the literary programs.
Okay, we have had a wide variety there. We've had Sally Lee, who wrote the book, The Battle of Franklin, spoke to us about her book. And then we've had author storytelling, facts and fiction by Lucas Boyd. And he was the past headmaster of Battleground Academy. And he is currently a guest writer for the Williamson Herald.
If someone is interested in becoming a member, how would they do that, Nell?
Well, if they could approach or know of someone who belongs to the club, generally a member will bring in a person and then she will have her visit our club at least 3 times, and then she's introduced at each time she's present, and then we then submit a resume. The person will submit a resume of her interest in her in the club, and then that's read at the meeting, and then the club votes on the meeting. And of course, that way we always get people who are very interested in our same interests as far as the cultural arts.
Well, I also enjoyed the last program. I felt like I was back in an art history 101 class again. It was really good. It was a good time. I enjoyed that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you would like to know more information, you can just give us a call at 615-595-1250. Thanks again.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back. Did you know the library offers a Microsoft Excel Basics 1 class? The class is an introduction to Excel. Participants will create a basic spreadsheet, perform simple formatting, alignment, numbers, font style, and size, sort, print, and save a spreadsheet. The prerequisites include introduction to the computer, equivalent skills, experience with Microsoft Word is preferred. For more information, call 615-595-1243 or go to wcpltn.org. Hello and welcome back. In our What's Hot in Books segment, we'll be talking about teen books, some of the more popular ones, and how also teen books are selected. And I would like to welcome Erin Holt, our teen librarian, here at our main library at Williamson County Library here in Franklin. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Erin, when you select books, what are some of the magazines that you use to review?
I use a lot of the School Library Journal, which is a popular magazine in the industry. A lot of librarians review for it. So you're getting sort of top-notch reviews, how this will fit in your collection, and an honest review if there's any sort of things that may or may not, things to look out for in the books, if there's any sort of discrepancies. I use Booklist as well as another wonderful source.
Yes.
And Voya, which is Voice of Youth Advocates, also has wonderful reviews, all written by librarians as well.
I always forget what Voya stands for. And in the books you, selecting the books you brought today to talk about, how did you choose those?
From those sources, and also as I read things online, there'll be a lot of buzz generated, both from a publisher and from the reviewers. So I'll follow that. And if I see the same book across different catalogs, that'll sort of be a sign that, okay, this is going to be pretty popular. We should probably order some. And also if it's a really popular author or part of a series that's been popular in the past.
Yeah, sometimes if it's a series like The Hunger Games or, you know, Harry Potter, it's easy to tell that you're gonna, of course, the kids and you will, you know, you'll get it for the library and the kids will read it. What are some of the good teen review online sites?
Well, if you want to read some reviews, our blog, wcpltn.wordpress.com, offers book reviews. There's Goodreads.com, which offers reviews from anywhere from librarians to any kind of reader, all different kinds of books. Even Instagram, the social media site, will offer sort of mini reviews, especially a lot of libraries. You could follow us at WCPL Teen 14, and we offer different reviews through our Instagram account. If you like Amazon, they have an editorial reviews section, which will include snippets of the review journals such as Booklist, Voya, New York Times, Boston Globe, and the School Library Journal.
So on Instagram, libraries and individuals are doing or posting.
Yep, you can
reviews?
just, a lot of times people will post a picture of a book and then they'll put a mini review of it, and then a little, a comment thread can start and people can start talking about the book, so you can get an idea of what it's about.
Well, that's good for parents to know. If you're a parent who kind of keeps track on what their teens and younger children are reading, that's good to know that this is available. And you brought some very popular books with you today. So tell us about those.
I did. So we have the first one is The Infinite Sea. It's by Rick Yancey. I can't tell you much about it because it's the highly anticipated sequel to The Fifth Wave, which was incredibly popular. So it's a little sci-fi, fantasy, alien invasion stuff going on. Definitely worth reading. Yeah.
So is this the second one now in the series?
Yep, it's the second one.
Okay. Okay.
Very popular author.
Okay.
We also have The Young Elites. This is a new series by the author Marie Lu, who wrote the series Legend, which got a lot of comparison to The Hunger Games and Divergent, all very popular with teens. This is about a mystery surrounding a strange fever that leaves children with strange markings and mysterious powers. And that group of children or teens starts a group called the Young Elites. So it's the first in a series. It's sure to be really, really popular. And
Do we see a movie coming down the road?
Yep, there will probably be a movie. I haven't read anything official yet. And we also have, for those that like historical fiction, we have The Lies We Tell Ourselves by Robin Talley. And this is a debut novel for her. And it is getting rave reviews as well. It's perfect for historical fiction fans, like I said. We get a lot of those coming in the teen room, actually wanting historical fiction. It's about two girls. One is Caucasian, one is African American. And it's during the Civil Rights Movement. And they are in school together, and they're forced to work on a school project.
Okay.
And it's sort of about what happens with all the segregation and everything.
So
going
is
on
it
at
set
that
in the
time.
South?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Very good book. A lot about finding out truth through the lies and sort of finding your own voice when someone's trying to silence it.
Which is a kind of a big theme in teen books.
Very much, yes.
Yeah. And also, there are some excellent teen blogging sites that you mentioned, book blogs. So tell us a little bit about those, besides ours too, in addition to ours.
There's some wonderful book blogs out there. So many librarians have their personal blogs where they review books. The ones that I like a lot it's called Stacked, and their website is www.stackedbooks.org. They offer wonderful reviews by librarians. There's Book Riot, which is www.bookriot.com, also offering good reviews, young adult as well as adult and children's titles.
Now, on Book Riot, what is it? Librarians reviews and teen reviews?
I believe they're all like professional librarian reviews on that one. If you want to get actual teen reviews, you could look at different library sites. Our blog does have some teen book reviews, but some other libraries will have blogs dedicated just to the actual teens reviewing the books, which is actually something that we are working towards with our teen advisory group, is having them develop content for our blog, including reviews on the blog as well as on Instagram as well.
And what are some of the other blog sites?
The ALA, the American Library Association, has a YALSA, which is Young Adult Library Services, and they offer a blog that has book reviews as well.
So, it's very hard to grab a teen's attention because there's so many things going on that can to vie for their attention.
Yes.
So, what about a book can grab attention for a teen?
It's funny you asked that because I just asked them that question yesterday.
Oh,
I asked
good.
several different groups. I asked a group of 4 male teens, and they immediately said the plot. So if it has adventure, sci-fi, whatever they're looking for at the time, the plot is what they go for. A lot of times when I'm suggesting books, I'll hand it to them. Immediately they'll open it up and start reading the front flap to see what it's about. I asked another group, and they immediately said the author. If it's a popular author, they'll automatically read it, no questions asked. Another group said the cover. Now they say don't judge a book by its cover.
That's not true.
Somebody told me immediately, we judge books by their cover.
Absolutely.
So the cover art is very, very important to them as well. But a lot of it comes from me talking to them, finding out what they like to read, what their favorite book was, and we sort of go from there about what aspects they like about the books that they've enjoyed in the past.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be if for a teen male to read about a male protagonist.
Not at all. I've had a teen male come in and look for books by Wendy Mass before, and she's typically very female-oriented, appealing to teen girls.
Because I can remember back in the day, librarians were saying that a boy wants to read about a boy and a girl, but that's not so true anymore.
No. Another example is The Maze Runner, male protagonist, girls and boys both vying for that book. I haven't even seen it on the shelf but one time in about 6 months.
Oh, wow. Now, how long has that book been out?
That's been out for several years, but they just released the movie.
They've made a movie? I thought they did.
Yeah, so it's been really, really popular.
Wow.
The same with Mockingjay.
Yeah.
I've seen it on the shelf maybe for a day, and then it's gone. So, yeah.
But, sometimes the movies carry on with the books, and they honor the books. And that's when they do a good job. And I think the Hunger Games movies have done that.
Yeah, and I think that depending on the author's work with the movie, sometimes they have a really tight contract with them, so they have more control over what they can do and say and have put on screen. So that helps a lot too.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll be right back. Did you know the library offers Facebook Profiles 101? We do. The class covers creating an individual profile, the newsfeed, networking, privacy settings, creating an avatar, navigating applications, and status update. Go to wcpltn.org or call 615-595-1243 for more details. Welcome back to Not Just Books, and thank you so much for joining us today. Also, I'd like to thank our special guest, Margaret Brown, Library Cataloger, Sharon Reily, Reference Librarian, Nell Henderson with Allied Arts Club, and Nicki Mackanos, Allied Arts Club President, Erin Holt, Teen Librarian. If you have any comments or suggestions for future programs, please contact me. Our email address is notjustbooks@williamson-tn.org. You can also leave comments on the library's website at wcpltn.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/WCPLTN and follow us on Twitter at WCPLTN. You can leave comments for us there also. And until next time, explore your world and read.
Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, we all love you, Santa Claus. With your bright red suit and your long white beard, your floppy hat that covers your ears, Santa Claus, you're the best. You carry your presents in a sack and you put them under the tree. Hope you bring one for me. Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, we all love you, Santa Claus.